admit they probably don't have enough. That's why State Farm agent Timothy Sawyer focuses on how the benefits of life insurance actually live on by asking people to think in terms of life without having to sell the house insurance or life without having to give up the college insurance. Find out how the benefits of life insurance can live on for your family. Call State Farm agent Timothy Sawyer here in Greenville today at 493-0002 and put the life back in life insurance.
Do you have any real estate questions about buying or selling residential or commercial properties? Are you curious about this current real estate market? Do you need a property manager for all your rental houses? This is proud ECU alum Scott Harris with RE/MAX Preferred Realty and SD Harris Properties, and I would love to help answer every question you have and show you a real estate experience that will be memorable and enjoyable. Every step of the way, I'm here to make your dreams a stress-free reality. Call me today at 347-1857. That's 347-1857. Go Pirates.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the pirate nation. This is Eastern Carolina's longest-running sports radio show. The Brian Bailey Show is on the air. The Brian Bailey Show is powered by Greenville Utilities and also brought to you by
Angus Grill, Bostic Sugg Furniture, Bojangles, East Coast Grading, Papa John's, Pepsi, Seared Chop House, Taft and Hagler, Tiebreakers, and Greenville Auto World.
And now, here's Brian Bailey.
All right, happy Monday, everybody. Welcome into your sports week, and this is going to be a good sports week because at the end of this week on Saturday, we've got the spring football game coming up, and that's a big day at East Carolina. The Great Pirate Purple Gold Pigskin Pig Out Party is on. The weather's expected to be great. It's also National Championship Monday tonight, so we'll talk a little bit about that. Our guest today is Tim Doust. He is the special teams coordinator at East Carolina, also coaches defensive ends and outside linebackers. He's standing by live to talk with us from his office over on campus at East Carolina. So we'll take our first break and come back with Coach Doust after this.
If you're a Carolina
the Angus Grill is your premier spot for the best burgers,
cheesesteak. You want to hit me in hour number one. If you're a Duke fan,
variety of burger combinations, from the mushroom bacon Swiss burger to the jalapeno popper burger to the original Angus classic. Pair that burger with our amazing onion rings, tots, fries, or sweet potato fries. Angus Grill, with 4 amazing locations in eastern North Carolina, including Winterville near Pitt Community College, on Jarvis Street in uptown Greenville, and on Statensburg Road near the hospital. It's the best burger around, guaranteed.
This isn't your regular cola, so this isn't your regular cola ad. No beach parties or family barbecues here, just Nitro Pepsi, the first cola ever infused with nitrogen. So forget everything you thought you knew about soda, because that nitrogen gives us a whole new experience. Think an infusion of smaller bubbles for a cola that's got a lighter, smoother texture. And don't get me started on the pour. You don't pour this like any other cola. We're talking turn the can completely upside down and watch as those bubbles cascade into the glass to create a frothy, luxurious foam topping. Can your cola do that? I didn't think so. Unless you've got your own Nitro Pepsi, in which case cheers to your great taste. Because you already know that the only thing better than the pour is the unapologetic cola taste. What else is there to say? From the creamy foam to the smooth texture to its unbelievably delicious flavor, this is cola like you've never had it before. Time to bring your taste buds to the next frontier. New Nitro Pepsi. Smooth, creamy, delicious.
Crust is the most important part of stuffed crust. That's half the name. Papa John's crust is made from 6 simple ingredients. 7 if you count all this cheese. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Hey Pirate fans, the Papa John's Epic Stuffed Crust One-Topping Pizza is only $13 and is an MVP move for game day or any day. Place your order online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, the official pizza of the ECU Pirates.
When a storm hits, you can count on Greenville Utilities. They put their emergency storm plan into action to restore power as quickly and safely as possible. If you experience an outage, call them toll-free at 1-855-767-2482. The automated hotline can handle a large number of calls at once, virtually eliminating busy signals, so help can be on the way as fast as possible. Remember, GUC's emergency hotline number is 1-855-767-2482.
Seared Chop House is Greenville's only true chop house. We're open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. Seared combines a remarkable menu with an unrivaled atmosphere. Lunch or dinner at Seared is a quality-driven experience where we highlight a thoughtful approach to locally sourced ingredients and hearty, flavor-rich cuisine. We're firing up the grill at Seared, Greenville's only true chop house, located on Fire Tower Road at Bells Fork. Come see us at Seared for lunch or dinner 7 days a week.
Hey everybody, this is David Glenn, and you're listening to my favorite station in Eastern North Carolina, Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, providing reliable utility solutions to the Greenville region since 1905. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back on this Championship Monday for the NCAA basketball tournament. North Carolina and Kansas set to do battle at 9:20 tonight. And once again, that game is on TBS and not the traditional CBS. TBS for tonight's basketball game. We'll get a pick from Tim Doust coming up in just a bit. He is the special teams coordinator, defensive ends, and outside linebackers coach, and he joins us from his office over on campus at East Carolina. Coach Doust, how's your spring been?
Hey, it's been good, Brian. Thanks for having me on.
When you look at this Pirate football team and the improvement from year to year, can you measure it this spring?
Well, this is my second spring here, but every once in a while we have taken a peek back at the film to see how we've grown a little bit over Coach Houston's time here, and the difference in speed on the perimeter. And really the big thing we talk about here in our building is the differences at the line of scrimmage. You got a little bit more depth, and you got some bigger bodies that are able to be more physical on both sides of the football. So just continue to grow, and I can tell you in the year that I've been here, I'm pleased, and you can see the difference on both sides of the ball from where we were this time last year.
We've talked before about the importance of special teams, and East Carolina has always had an added emphasis, at practice on special teams. What do you guys do in the spring that's a little bit different than in the fall, or is it basically the same thing?
Well, it's similar than what we do to the fall. We just slow it down a little bit more. We try to get a couple in a week, a couple in a day during the fall practice week. But now we can break it down and, put an emphasis more on one particular unit in a practice, and then shine it up as we get closer to the scrimmages. As this past Saturday we did, punt and punt return against each other, and kickoff return against each other. The units are in right now. Slow it down, teach them the fundamentals. Now we'll go into this last week, and each unit will get a day, an emphasis on the practice field in preparation for the wrap-up spring, where we feel like we got some good tape to teach off heading into fall camp, teach off some good, some bad, evaluate the players, who we putting in the right spot as you go through it, as fast as you can get the right guys in the right spot on those special teams units. You really see a lot of growth. I thought we did that as we got in the later half of the year, especially on the kickoff return unit, got some guys back there in the right positions, and I think we saw some growth, and I think that'll help us, going into the spring and fall.
And will that change as you get closer, to the fall with any graduate transfers that you guys obtain, anything that, with true freshmen that haven't gotten on campus yet? I mean, is it kind of a situation that's in flux?
Well, there's certainly, you evaluate a kid in his recruiting process on any side of the football. You're talking about, okay, well, if he can play wide out, he's a big wide out. Well, shoot, we can plug him in on all four core on the special teams, and that just adds to his value, the more that you can do in any workplace, and certainly it doesn't change around here. So certainly, yeah, we're going to add a couple more pieces. Anyone that's coming in, especially if you're talking about a grad transfer or, JUCO kids and things of that nature, they play football. They've been in the fight. They've been in the weight room a little bit longer. So they're ready to help you a little bit faster than a high school kid. So we hope to get a few more skilled kids on the perimeter on both sides of the football, and I'll be happy to plug them into spots on special teams.
We've talked about this too, the fact that some teams go with second and third teamers on special teams to try to give them a shot to get on the field. Other teams like to use their first stringers. A lot of teams, I think East Carolina is one of those that kind of uses a mix because you don't want to get somebody hurt, but sometimes you need that body in there. When you guys sit down and talk, do you sit down? Donnie's on one side, Blake's on the other. Coach Houston obviously is in the big chair and kind of hash it all out.
Well, yeah, everyone has a say in it, but the big chair makes the decision.
Yeah,
and he certainly takes his input from us. But this football program and this coaching staff, we want to win. So if it means giving Keaton Mitchell a chance to return kicks, we're going to give a chance to do that. And Malik Fleming as a punt returner, or put Rajay on punt. Whatever we got to do. Whatever we have to do. Jeremy Lewis. When last year Bruce Bivens was a great player on special teams. We're going to put the guys out there that we need to go out there to win the football game. And as we build more depth, then that could potentially be a 2 or a 3 on your depth chart as he grows into his role. And certainly those kids know that. But we're going to put the best players out there in the situations we need.
When you look at your special teams from a year ago and the guys that are no longer with the program through graduation and such, what are some of the holes that you really wanted to fill?
Well, the big one that jumps out at you right away is John Young. Well, had a lot of punts here in his time at ECU and went out on a high note. Second team all conference, and we were over 40 yards in net punt, which was very good in our league. So John will be a big one for us to fill, and Luke Larson's having as good a spring that we could imagine out of him. Then, the big one that I think everyone will notice here in time is that we got to get a return man in the punt and kickoff game. Snead is gone, and man, I would have to look up how many returns has he had in his career.
Yeah,
and it was a nice little safety net back there. Hey, we got Snead. We can develop some other guys, but we know we can put Snead out there in a game. He's going to make good decisions. Fielding all the footballs, and if you make a mistake covering, he had a chance to break one. And we've done that. We've addressed that this spring. We're always looking for more depth, but I think we're in good shape as we wrap up spring camp this week.
Is Keaton Mitchell a possibility to return kicks?
He is a possibility. You have Keaton Mitchell. You want to get him the ball.
You ain't kidding.
So going against him on defense, you're like, oh, here he goes again. Here he goes again. Oh man, don't give him a crease, right? So again, it's a decision that we have to make as a program. What are the best things? Getting Keaton the football as best we can, but make sure we do a good job blocking for him. If we do a good job in the kick return game blocking, I think we got a few guys we could put back there, but he is certainly an option.
3 years as an assistant coach, have you had anybody any faster than Keaton Mitchell?
He is fast, right? I was fortunate. I was really, really young as a junior to see some good running backs. But, we had a kid named Garrett Wolf back at Northern Illinois and Michael Turner that played some years in the NFL. But I tell you what, flat, give him a crease. He is a special speed. I don't know. I don't know that I've witnessed one faster than him.
Yeah, I think we all knew he was fast, but I think it was in Charlotte against Appalachian State when we first, got a big glimpse, at least for the new season. And man, he hit that slide, and he was gone.
Yeah, it's different. It's just there's a lot of good running backs that you play. And then there's just a small handful of running backs. If you make a mistake, they're going to put it on the scoreboard. And we saw that in fall camp. We knew that, oh boy, he's different, and you don't have to block everybody up right. And you just give him a little crease, or he can outrun a couple angles the defense thinks he has. So let's get Keaton the football. Let's keep him healthy, and shoot, let's give the offense the football as many times as we can.
Talked about the punting situation a little bit. Can you compare the two in Larson and John Young?
Oh, yeah. I know Luke gets the stereotype, he's from Australia, so he's rugby and all this.
Right.
Luke can do it all. Luke has a lot of different tools in his toolbox, and he'll tell you he can traditionally stand in that pocket and punt the football, and he certainly can do that. But he has the experience in playing Australian rules football. He'll tell you he's not a rugby. There's a difference. I haven't figured them out yet.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, he can place the football a lot of spots. He's very good on the plus side of the 50. He can roll in every type of direction, and he's a pretty good athlete back there. A couple years back, people will remember the fake that he ran against SMU to really light a spark in that game. But they're very comparable in the pocket, and you're going to maybe just get a few little different wrinkles from Luke every time he's back there, give him something extra to prepare for.
And Luke has a drill where he'll be on one sideline, and he'll try to hit the side of the upright on the goalpost, and it's really fascinating because he's pretty good at it.
His placement, like we went out there this Saturday, said, all right, watch, Coach, I'm going to put it on the 1. And he landed it, I think, on the 2 from about 52 yards out. And we didn't cut down it in there, but he can pin the ball where he wants to, kind of like a golfer in some degrees.
And that's got to be difficult to coach. Do you guys have somebody that works with the punters and the kickers specifically?
Well, he and I spend a lot of time together, and we watch a lot of film together, but we don't employ here someone just to coach kickers and punters. But we can outsource things, and these guys these days, they a lot of times they find their own third party independent person for kicking and snapping and punting, and they do that. But Luke and I, we spend a lot of time, and let's figure out exactly what tools do you have, Luke, because he is a traditional punter in a lot of degrees, but has some other special things he can do as well.
And more than that, he's really a good guy, and just he seems to be just really friendly to everybody, and the way he speaks, the way his accent and everything, he's really interesting player.
Yeah, it's different talking to a 29-year-old Australian.
Exactly.
Yeah, he comes in. We have our times every Friday. He comes in. I say, "Are you? What are you doing? Huh? Just checking on you, Coach." And we'll sit and rap for a little while, and it's always entertaining.
All right, the other side of the football as far as kicking goes, Owen Daffer had such a great year last year. That's got to be comforting when you're sitting here preparing for a new football season and you know that slot is right there.
Yeah, couldn't ask for more. A freshman comes in here in first team all conference. Now he's got to make sure, he got a chip on his shoulder going out there. And now we'll talk about as we go into his career and leg strength. And now, hey, where do we have to get to? Let's see if we can push that back another 5 yards so we can tell Donnie we have points on the board and send him out there. Maybe even more if we need to do that. But Owen had a solid spring. He's consistent. Everybody will tell you in this building he's a level-headed competitor. The moment's never too big for him. And he proved that, obviously, on multiple occasions last year. But he's steady. You just like having Owen on your side.
Take us back to the Navy game last year, Coach. Were you on the headsets and in the discussion about, do we kick it? Do we not kick it? How did that go?
Well, it was a tie ball game, and Coach had asked, and I just threw out the idea. I said, Coach, well, it's got a better chance than a Hail Mary. And we threw him out there, and 54 is nothing we had asked him to ever do in practice.
Right.
And he proved us right. How about that? I won't say that everybody was taking wagers and how it was going to go, but it was worth a shot. Son of a gun, prayer answered. So there you go.
And talking to Holton, I remember afterwards, Holton Naylor's the quarterback, and he was like, yeah, we were on the sideline, and we're saying, let him kick it. And when I saw him trot out there, I was trying to count. My math's not real good, but I was kind of 44, 10, 54. I said, that's 54 yards. And the other side to that, when you're going to try that, the worst case scenario, obviously, if you get it blocked, and if it runs back the other way, so it can, it can put egg all over your face. But he trotted out there, and man, when he hit it, I knew it had a shot. Did you think the same thing when he hit it?
Well, he hit it. He had a shot. Man, I'm glad I didn't go through all those negative scenarios you just went through. That Shank does a good job. The kids did a good job protecting it, and he hit it good on a rather cold day, and he hit it really, really well. So off his foot, it had a chance. But, yeah, you were right. The kids on the sideline, they were saying, hey, let's throw him out there. I think he's one of the guys in the locker room, and so he's a competitor, like I said, and he rose up at the right time for us.
Yeah, and he really he took it all with a lot of humility. I mean, he loved the moment. They were carrying him off the field. I mean, he had a great time with it. But in talking to him after that, he said, that's kind of my job to go out there and make a field goal, and I thought I could make it, and I hit it good, and it was one of those days that probably wasn't all that cold, except that none of us were really used to the cold that it the temperatures that it was that day. It was a little cool. But if it's in the dead of winter, you think, okay, it's a normal day. But that early, as far as the winter goes, it just seemed like it was a lot colder. Off of that water, too, at Navy.
Yeah, in Navy, they had said all week going into it. It had been a few years since I had played there as a coach. And weather and wind was something that we had talked about. But, heck, he did it. Well, good for Owen, and there was now we can see if we can repeat that a couple more times.
Tim Doust is our guest. He's joining us live from his office over at East Carolina. We'll take a commercial break right now. We'll come back. We'll continue on with Coach Doust. We'll talk about his defensive ends, his outside linebackers, more about special teams. We'll also take your questions or comments on our Facebook Live page. I'll check that out for you and get those to Coach Doust. Back with more on this Monday on The Brian Bailey Show right after this.
This is a Pirate Radio Sports Break presented by Ron Ayers Motorsports, Highway 11, north of the airport in Greenville. ECU beat Cincinnati 12-10 yesterday to take the weekend series against the Bearcats. Ben Terwilliger earned his first win as a Pirate, working 2 2/3 scoreless innings with 3 strikeouts. The Diamond Bucks are 16-13 overall, 2-1 in conference play, and will host Old Dominion tomorrow night at 6:30 at Clark LeClaire Stadium. Tiger Woods says he will be a game-time decision as to whether or not he will compete in the 86 Masters. Harold Varner III is among the players invited to Augusta for the tournament, which will begin on Thursday. It's Kansas and North Carolina for the NCAA Championship tonight for the men. Pirate Radio will have live coverage of the game beginning at 7 o'clock. And on the women's side, South Carolina defeated UConn 64-49 last night to give the Gamecocks and head coach Dawn Staley their second national championship. This has been a Pirate Radio Sports Break. I'm Shirley Rhodes.
Pirate Fest, presented by Subdogs and Suddenlink, offers 2 days of piractical tomfoolery. This free event includes 150 vendors, food trucks, art demos, BMX, mermaids, and of course, pirates. Join us on Friday, April 8th from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. featuring music from DJ Tay James. Then on Saturday, April 9th for a full day of activities from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., including a concert on the Town Common from Grammy-nominated recording country artist Eric Pasley. For more information, visit piratefestnc.com.
It's bow time. Have you ever wondered why Bojangles Chicken Supremes are called Supremes? Well, with golden crispy chicken tenderloins this juicy, tender, and full of bold flavor, what else would you call them? Superbs? Nah, that would be weird. Get your 4-piece Chicken Supremes combo today with a scratch-made biscuit, your choice of fixin', legendary iced tea, and your favorite sauce for dipping. Download our app to order ahead. It's bow time.
Hi, I'm Ken Hagler of Taft and Hagler. We're proud to be sponsors of the Brian Bailey Show and the Pirate Nation on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. If you've been injured on the job or due to someone else's negligence in an automobile collision, call us at 752-2000 for a free consultation with experienced professionals who care. Go Pirates!
Your first stop for shopping is at Shimmer Boutique. This is Ashley from Shimmer. We are fully stocked with the latest apparel, shoes, and accessories and more. If you need gift ideas or some shopping therapy for yourself, stop by today. Looking for the hottest shoes on the market? Shimmer has the biggest selection of Hey Dudes anywhere. Shimmer has the newest Yeti products and colors. Want this year's most popular bag? Shimmer has a great selection of all your bog bag needs and accessories. Shimmer in Greenville, Winterville, and Jacksonville.
Pirate Radio.
It's great to be on. This is an honor. You know, Pirate Radio is kind of a cult following around North Carolina, so I'm excited.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities. Community owned, community powered. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to our show on this Monday. Tim Doust, the special teams coordinator, defensive ends, and outside linebackers coach, joining from his office over on campus at East Carolina. Coach, how much special teams will we see this weekend as far as the spring game goes?
Well, you'll see the specialists go out there, but you won't get anything scheme-wise from us. We're going to go out there and kick and punt and return the kicks and punts and those things on air as we go out there. So, you see some field goal as those situations arise in the scrimmage, but we're going to get all our work in by the time we walk off the field on Friday.
All right, and Coach had said that it's going to be kind of an offense versus defense type deal, and it's going to be one of those weird scoring situations where the defense will get points for stopping the offense on downs and that kind of thing. Kind of hard to keep up with, but he said there were some different depth situations with some of the positions, and that's why he didn't want to split them up in two different teams.
Yeah, and good luck to whoever has to keep track of that score.
Yeah,
I'm sure everybody watching that score on each sideline. But as a coach and as a player, who got the better of who. The score is representation, and you could go a couple different ways. You could minimize how you score the points for touchdowns and turnovers and things, or you could go as elaborate as you want. But when you walk off the field on Saturday, like we have the last couple Saturdays, how you individually performed, how your side of the ball performed, and where we'll be at coming off there. But it'll be fun to keep score because, there'll be a dinner on the line for Monday night, and who's eating what and who's serving who. So the kids will be excited. We'll have fun.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Is it going to be steaks and beanie weenies again?
What I heard this morning, what was it? I think it was some steak and shrimp on one side and beans and weenies on the other.
There you go, the old beanie weenie deal. I asked somebody once. I said, "Is it? Do they really make them eat beanie weenies?" And they said, "Yeah, that's what happens." Do the coaches have to do the same thing?
Yeah. That's right. That's what it was said this morning in the staff meeting. Coaches as well, and it just depends how you grew up, Brian. Beans and wieners wasn't a bad meal sometimes growing up.
That's I can remember John Dukes, the head football coach at Indian River High School when I was playing in 1979, and he said that the Western Branch boys were steak eaters, and he said, "You boys are beanie weenie boys, and go out and beat the steak eaters." I'll never forget that speech. I think we lost by 30, but we were fired up to start.
Yeah. There you go. That was only showed up in our house if Mom was out of town for something. So
that's right. There you go. Steak against the beanie weenies. All right, talk about your room a little bit and some of the players that we'll see on Saturday that in the defensive ends, the outside linebackers. When you guys, it's two different positions, but they're not really interchangeable. But do you always work together as far as meetings, that kind of thing?
Yes, we meet with those kids as a group. They're not necessarily interchangeable because we have so many different moving parts on our defense, and our kids have done a good job adapting to different things and things we ask them to do. At defensive end, I'm really, really fortunate that you're going to see the same faces that you saw in the fall, and really at the other position as well. But Manny Hickman and Chad Stevens proved as the year went on and time went on last year. They're more than just reliable. They can make plays in the run and pass game. So I've been really pleased with how they came through the season last year and how they progressed on the field, but leadership-wise, work ethic-wise, they had really good winners with Big John in the weight room. Manny Hickman's taken on more of a leadership role within the room and on the side of the ball, really shows the way every single day for a lot of kids in our room, old and young. So really, really a great kid to be around and a kid to watch for years to come as he moves on out of here to ECU. Chad Stevens has moved to a couple different spots. He was at our rush outside linebacker spot this time last year, but big and strong and becoming a more consistent player was something he knew he had to work on, and he's done that this spring. I think, that position, those two give us a lot of depth and experience that we can throw out there. The moment won't be too big for him. Obviously this Saturday, but any Saturday coming up next of all. So I like where we're at with those two young men at that spot. Our rush outside linebacker, local guy, Jeremy Lewis, and I just was reminded this morning, we switched him to defense last year when I guess prior to my arrival, he only played 5 practices in the spring and really grew every single week throughout the season. And now you can really see on film things are making sense to him. He's one of the better athletes on the football team, and he's showing it more and more at a more consistent level. He's a guy that can make plays and beat a one-on-one matchup and do some good things for us. So he's had a good spring. Got to keep that going. We were looking at some depth at that position and added Jack Powers, a transfer from Nevada. He's coming here and done exactly what we thought he would do, be able to contribute on special teams, be a smart kid on and off the football field. He has made, I certainly believe from the moment he got here, he has played a big part in Jeremy Lewis becoming a better player because Jack is going to be where he's supposed to be, play extremely hard, and definitely come in there and give us the depth that we needed at that position. So Xavier Smith could just be a full-time linebacker. And I think, that Jack, I don't think the value of him can't be overstated and what he's brought to the program.
When you look at what you have now and what's in the transfer portal, I think Coach has said, I think Donnie Kirkpatrick said last week, you guys have a coach that kind of goes through the transfer portal almost on a daily basis. But do you tell the guys, hey, look, if you see somebody, blah, 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 we want to at least, take a look and that kind of thing. And how does all that work with the transfer portal?
Well, you look at your recruiting needs and scholarships available and all those things that coach has to, he gets paid the big dollars to decide what's available and where the resources are going to go. And then from there, we have, a recruiting department will come by on a daily basis. They'll look at them, and if it's somebody worthwhile, they'll have us take a look at them as a position coach. And, you start making phone calls to do your homework. Is this a good young man, a good football player? But really, what are we getting? Because I think here in East Carolina, we've really come a long way from what I understand of the culture around here, and this is a great place to play. And if you want to be physical and you want to play football and are into discipline and doing things the right way, we need those type of kids. So let's make sure we get the right ones and do our homework, ask the tough questions and get the right additions in here, because I think, this program's close to making some big strides.
How difficult is it when you make those tough questions? Because, most people, don't want to be negative on somebody, but you have to have almost somebody that you can trust to give you the negative part. Where if you have, just somebody you really don't know very well, so yeah, he's a good kid, then, somebody really, really well, you call him up and they say, hey, stay away from this guy because he's trouble, he's cancer in the locker room, because that's a huge difference, isn't it?
Well, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, those are conversations. Do you know somebody on that staff and that program that is going to shoot you straight? And, and it goes over anything, right? If somebody has been good to you in the past and been honest on their evaluations, and you're fast to call those people back. And, that's the way it works. But no, and there's different situations. Kids leave schools for different reasons. Maybe he just couldn't find it on the field or wasn't the right fit for him, or sometimes kids need to get closer to home. So, there's transferring at certain times is certainly the right answer for a lot of these young men. So it's been a good outlet for those kids. But like you said, we've got to do our homework and get the right ones in here.
And you got to the players have to like coming to practice and coming into the meetings, because it gets to be a grind. I mean, we all know the football season, you only get those 12 special, games. We call them Saturdays. Sometimes they're on Friday or whatever, but that's basically what you get. You get a bowl game as a reward. But still, it's so much work that goes into all of that, and you got to have guys that like being around one another, that like being around the coaches, and it's kind of one of those tough love type things. I mean, it's not always going to be roses and wine. You're going to have to get on some people, but you really have to trust somebody to find out exactly what's going on with that player.
That's right. And you're right. I mean, Brian, this is college athletics at a very high level. So just like life, football is tough. And we talk about it all the time in each position room around here and in the team meetings. I think the culture is right, and the kids really enjoy being around each other. When we do bring kids on campus, they can tell when they go in the locker room and their players' lounge that these kids really, really enjoy each other and enjoy being around the coaches, and we feel the same about them. And that doesn't mean it's hugs every day, but you know what? That is life as well. And I know I'm partial to football, but that's what makes it great. Football is tough, and I found out in 43 years on this earth that so is life. So you keep pressing on and keep working, and you want those kids you win championships with, and those kids become good husbands and good fathers and leaders in the community. So I think we got that going on here.
Yeah, and that's well said. And you think about football as a sport. I mean, it's one of those sports that you have to have 11 guys on the same page to have success, and it only takes one guy to screw something up, and then the whole play gets not. And that's really why I think I love football the best, because when everything's going well and there's a well-oiled machine, and but it's just so difficult, because as Coach Steve Logan would always say, the other guys practice too, the other guys try hard too, and that's one of the joys of football. Jeremy Lewis, from South Central High School, had a chance to watch him so many times. He was just a man amongst boys in high school, and when he got to East Carolina, and I've said this before, he's one of those guys. I was standing on the sideline with one of the East Carolina coaches looking at him one time, and I said, how do you guys know that guy can put on the weight and you can see the future almost? Because he looked to me like he was a great athlete, a man amongst boys, but I didn't see how you going to get all that weight on him. What are you going to do with him then? And they said, look, that guy can play. If we get him, it's going to be an incredible day for East Carolina, because he's a local kid. We need him, and he can play, and he's proven that. I was a little worried when he was at tight end, because I thought he might get lost kind of in the shuffle, and at the time it was one of those necessity things where East Carolina needed a tight end. He was a great athlete. He made so many great catches in high school, but I was glad to see him get over to the defensive side of the football, and I really think watching him last year, he was really, really good, but I think he's just scratching the surface, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is. He's done some things the last couple of Saturdays. He said, boy, he would have never done that the year before. He's taken to coaching. He's taken to what we're trying to get done. I'm proud of his growth. I know what he is athletically and the things he can do physically. But he wants to be great. He's taking coaching better, and he just gets better every day. So he can't get enough reps, and then I just think the upside, and I'm glad Coach made that decision before I got here. It made me a little bit smarter and better coaching a guy that can run like that.
Yeah, he can. He can run like a deer, and he'll hit you in a heartbeat, and that's good for Blake Harrell and for Tim Doust in this Pirate defense coming up. By the way, Blake Harrell is scheduled to join us next week to do our post show on the spring football game, so be joining us for that next Monday right here at 12 noon. Tim Doust, the special teams coordinator, defensive ends, outside linebackers coach, our guest on this Monday. Who are some of the younger players that you have in your room, the outside linebacker situation and the defensive ends?
At the outside linebacker spot, we moved a kid last fall. Eric Doctor was playing linebacker, and we moved him up to line scrimmage at the rush outside linebacker position. And he kind of got spring ball on the fly last year during the fall. Took a lot of reps during the season to help Jeremy get to game day, and it was those reps were very beneficial for Eric, playing a lot faster. And now he's one of those guys, as you can see, as we go to make depth up on special teams, that he is going to be a leader in our special teams units on nearly all facets. And then he's growing more and more comfortable on the defensive side of the ball, and a guy that everyone in this program really enjoys being around. A hard worker, physical, tough kid. But Eric's done a nice job early in his career, so I think he's somebody we can keep an eye on as we find the right spot for him on defense. He has proven to be a very good special teams player for us. At the defensive end position, the two Robinsons, Elijah and Josiah, they both know that they need to grow, and that availability is key. Elijah Robinson got a freak injury during the fall and missed a lot of time. He had to have surgery on his hand and missed a lot of time because he needed that weight room. He needed that, the scout team to grow, and he's getting that right now. But he shows a skill set that he can help. So Josiah Robinson was a transfer we took last summer from Michigan State, and he is as good an athlete as we have on the defensive side of the football, but got to push through some injuries and become available. And I think he could really help us if we get through those hurdles. But those are some depth guys we got, and then we're excited about the young guys coming in this summer.
How much will we see some of your starters on Saturday in the spring game? How many reps will they get?
Oh, it's another day. This is the great thing about coaching here at ECU with Coach. I mean, our guys are going to play. You're not going to be silly and throw guys out there for 50 and 60 reps like maybe in a football game. But our goods are going to go for a good bit, just like we did this last Saturday. And I would guess, without looking at the math, that they were 30 to 35 plays. And made sure they had a good lather and got a good work day out of it. It's not going to be a walkthrough for anybody.
Tim Doust, special teams coordinator, defensive ends, outside linebackers coach, our guest. We're going to take one final commercial break with Coach Doust, and we'll come back and wrap things up with him. Back with more on the Brian Bailey Show after this.
When a storm hits, you can count on Greenville Utilities. They put their emergency storm plan into action to restore power as quickly and safely as possible. If you experience an outage, call them toll-free at 1-855-767-2482. The automated hotline can handle a large number of calls at once, virtually eliminating busy signals, so help can be on the way as fast as possible. Remember, GUC's emergency hotline number is 1-855-767-2482.
The Rick House is Eastern North Carolina's premier American-style restaurant and bourbon bar with daily specials. And here's the lineup. Mondays feature $7 margaritas and half-price appetizers. Tuesday is stuffed seafood night. Wednesday is date night. Thursday is roasted smoked lamb chop night. Fridays is prime rib night. And Saturday is Italian night and is also Fred and Wilma night with our 36-ounce bone-in tomahawk steak just like the Flintstones. And on Sunday, it's our legendary brunch from 10 to 2. The Rick House, American Provisions and Spirits, 710 Red Banks Road beside the bowling alley in Greenville.
Before you hit the road this travel season, be sure to get your tires inspected by the tire guys at Greenville Auto World. The Greenville Auto World service team sells all the top brands and economy tires if you need a new set. Need an oil change, state inspection, or AC repair? Greenville Auto World can work on any type of vehicle, and the monthly oil change special is only $29.99. Make an appointment now by calling 364-8730. For award-winning service, trust Greenville Auto World.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers in Greenville, plus the all-new Tiebreakers in Winterville. 2 real burgers, better than anybody. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, real burgers at its best.
Everybody loves burgers.
This is Talbot Green with Angel Oak Home Loans. The real estate market is extremely competitive right now. The importance of being pre-qualified is absolute must before you begin shopping for a new home. At Angel Oak, we offer a wide variety of programs ranging from conventional, government, and portfolio loans that fit most financial situations. To get started, contact Talbot Green, Braxton Green, Joanne Weir, or Wanda Hager at 751-2060.
NMLS 1719250, Equal Housing Lender.
Baseball is back. Hey, Wood Ducks fans, be sure to purchase your single game tickets online at woodducksbaseball.com or by calling the ticket office at Granger Stadium. Ticket prices for Sunday through Thursday are just $7. Friday and Saturday tickets are $12. Do you have a big group? No problem. Book your group tickets by contacting the front office now. Opening day is right around the corner on April 12th with fireworks and a giveaway. Hope to see you there. Let's go Woodies.
Pirate Radio.
It's going to change. I promise you. As I stand here, it will change. Okay, and when it does, that stadium, it's going to be rocking, and heaven help whoever walks in there to play us.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities. Community-owned utilities mean local control, low rates, and high reliability. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to our show. Tim Doust, Special Teams Coordinator, Defensive Ends, and Outside Linebackers Coach. Our guest as we wrap things up with Coach Doust and get him out of here, get him set to get the game plan ready for the spring football game. 12:30 kickoff coming up on Saturday at Dowdy Ficklin Stadium. The weather is expected to be awesome. The great Pirate Purple Gold Pigskin Pig Out Party, lots of barbecue. Coach Doust, the big question for you today, though, is do you like the Eastern style of barbecue? Have you grown accustomed to it?
I tell you, Sam Jones is as good as anywhere you're going to find.
You've got a point.
And Parker's is a regular in this building. So,
yeah.
No, my family is taking a liking to it. It's been good so far, so good, and I'm anxious to see what this Saturday has to offer.
Yeah, you get a wide variety on Saturday because all the pigs, they come in and they cook them all night. They have the competition, and then they kind of chop it all up, put it all together, and it's really a good day. And the bands are usually out there and stuff, and just so much to do. In fact, with Pirate Fest this weekend, there's a whole crazy stuff to do coming up. But when you look at the game itself, I know it's something that you really want to concentrate on. The one thing, and it's kind of out of your hands, but you really just want to stay healthy. You want to give all these guys all the work you can, but you want to get them out of there healthy, don't you?
Yeah, and that's the way everyone goes into every spring, and this Saturday will be no different than every other day out there. You go out there, you go to work as hard as you can, and be smart with the way we set up drills and the matchups we set up out there. But stay healthy, get a chance to chance to watch the kids compete, evaluate the personnel, evaluate your scheme a little bit, and see what everyone's going to do a little bit better, headed into summer camp. But we'll stay healthy, and let the kids run into each other for about 100 plays or so, and then grow from there.
Yeah, a special guest or two at the last practice, the last scrimmage on Saturday. Robert Jones was in town. His son, Zay Jones, who has just signed that nice contract with the Jacksonville Jaguars. They had a chance to talk to the team afterwards. How good was that?
How about that? I stand there and I'm listening. I look up and their names are right next to each other in the stadium. That's pretty unique and special, and says something about the Jones family. But really, fortunate to have those people in the program that come back around and get back to these kids. And both of them, like so many people that come back and talk to kids across the country, just beg these kids to take advantage of the great opportunities in front of them. And everyone's really confident in the leadership we have here at ECU, and we can just get these kids every single day on a daily basis to take advantage of the opportunities and how far they can go, and ECU is a great place to do that.
And Coach Houston was talking about the fact that Zay worked so hard, when he was here, obviously, but he worked so hard in the pros, and Derek Carr would just brag on, he was always the first guy in the building, always the last guy to leave, and all of that hard work. I think what it shows is that it pays off eventually. I mean, he wasn't having a Hall of Fame type career. Zay Jones wasn't with the Raiders, but he was trying to get a chance here, get a chance there, and then when free agency opened up, and he had several teams that were after him, Robert was telling me all about some different negotiations that were going on, and not to give anything away, but he said he didn't want to play in the cold, so he ends up going down to Jacksonville, and he got a really nice deal there. But it's kind of like Exhibit A when you show the players that, hey, hard work does pay off, and it's right there in front of you.
Yeah, all the things that I spoke about earlier, right? Those things pay off. They're football lessons, but they're life lessons. And I think we do as good a job here as anywhere in the country is talking to those kids about those things. And Zay Jones, you said, well, he's not having a Hall of Fame career. Well, you got a lot ahead of him. And even if it were, to flatten out here, he's had a heck of a career.
Yeah.
And his family's going to be taken care of. And when you listen to him speak, you say he got what he was supposed to get out of football. A very, very, very well-represented young man, speaks extremely well, really got our kids' attention, and you could tell that he learned the lessons he was supposed to as a football player, and he's going to be a great guy to be around for years and years and years for his family.
The NCAA all-time receptions leader, and really, when you look at a guy like Zay, he helps out in recruiting almost every day, because if you have a receiver, which I don't know if you guys can talk about it yet, but if you have a receiver out there that you're interested in, through the transfer portal or whatever, and they can see something like that, and even though it's not the same coaching staff as it was, it's still the same program, and we've had so many great wide receivers come through East Carolina University. That's a big plus.
Yeah, we've had some great players through here, and then you show up at spring practice and there he is standing there. So I think it's great to see those guys back and still touching the program, and again continually saying how big of an impact their time here at ECU had on them.
And Robert Jones, of course, he was playing when I was young. I was really at fifth or sixth year as far as my career goes, and watching him play and that 91 team that was the best team in East Carolina Pirate football history. But and he's got 3 Super Bowl rings. How good is that?
Pretty impressive, right? 10-year career, 3 Super Bowl rings. I don't think that's a short list of those people. So, wow, pretty impressive. It still looks pretty like he could line up and still strike a couple people.
Yeah, that's what Coach Houston said. It looked like he could still suit up and play. All right, let's talk about the spring football game a little bit. What are some of the categories that the defense will score points in? Can you run down some of those? I know you guys don't have it official yet, probably, but what are some of those?
They kind of, you go to the matrix that you use after a football game, third down, we're stopping people on third down, we'll get a win for that. You get rewarded even larger if you get somebody on a 3-and-out or a turnover. Things that you would think are a big splash in a football game, you get more points for. Conversely, on offense, if they get a first down, they get a point. Touchdown's a touchdown. Field goal's a field goal. So, the big things that you would look at in a football game. So, defensively, getting stops, if you get a tackle for a loss or for a sack, those are big points. So the same things you would look at in a football game. Let's not get too complicated with the scoring system, but certainly make sure we measure things up the right way and give each side of the ball a fair measure. See, make it a close game and see who comes out on top.
All right, don't tell Donnie, but I think the defense is a 4-point favorite. What do you think?
Whoa, TK! If he hears that, he'll be come up with a few more things to get Blake upset. So we'll see. I hope it goes that way. But at the end of the day, I think if we can just add 4 more good practices out here this week, I think we'll feel good about the growth going into fall camp.
Yeah, I said that because I had Donnie on last week, so he couldn't refuse to go on with me. So I made the defense a 4-point favorite. All right, you got a couple of practices this week, and then obviously you've said the spring game is basically the last practice as far as that goes, and it will be a work day for East Carolina Pirate football. What are some of the things as the special teams coordinator and as the defensive ends outside linebackers coach that you want to accomplish in these next couple of practices leading into the spring game?
I want to make sure as we go through the field goal phase that our operation is clean with the new snap, new hold, and then, Owen being confident with the kick. Every time we send that field goal unit out there, it's points on the board, and I expect to see that this week. And again, on Saturdays, they'll get the opportunity as they come up in the game. And I like to see some more security and depth in the return unit, like who will be those guys back there with Keaton and Josiah Hatfield and those type of people, but some more guys to step up and give some depth back there. As far as kickoff and punt go, we are giving the other guys opportunity to challenge Owen with the kickoff spot, and they get a chance to do that. We'll give every unit a chance this week. And same with punt. Luke has done a nice job this spring, but we need to find another leg back there to shore up our punt game going into summer camp.
Would you like to have a situation where you have a separate kicker just for kickoffs to kind of take the load off of Owen?
Coach and I are both open to that. I think as the season went on, there was a lot for a first year for Owen. Owen is steady, and we know who he is in the kickoff game, but we are certainly open to the opportunity to somebody coming in here and booming the kickoffs for us.
I take you back to the Marshall game when I think about Owen and the onside kick, and that was executed to perfection, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was as big a play as we had in the season, right? That was a pivotal football game for our team. And there it was, something we practiced, and he is good at these unique kicks. He's a competitor, and, I give Melissa, okay, here's your specialty kicks for the week that, you got to be ready to use. If we use them, you don't use them a million times, but when it's time, it's very critical that we're successful. And that is one that I think Coach and I were very confident that we were going to have a chance, and we were able to execute it.
Do you have situations that, especially in the punting game, that you have, you've seen something on film, you tell the punter, you tell maybe the blocker in front of him, if certain situations come up, we're going to, if it's, I guess you could tell me what the situation would be. If it's 4th and less than 6 or 5 or something like that, do you have situations like that, or is it all called from the sideline?
Well, I can't give you every trade secret, but I know that Luke Larson is really locked into, threats that could come after a punt. What is the situation in the game? What did they show on film? Are they going to keep contained or not? What are the responsibilities? He understands blocking schemes of our punt extremely well. It just depends on your personnel and things. Coach Houston would ultimately control whether things would have a green light or not. But we're always looking for opportunities if they give us something that makes sure, hey, we're sound. And we always make sure that we make another team beat us and we don't make foolish mistakes. But if an opportunity presented itself where somebody wasn't sound, I think that's universal across football. People will try to take advantage of it.
And Donnie was talking about that last week, that they want to be better offensively on 3rd down, but they were pretty good last year on 4th down, which is kind of a surprise, really, when you think about it.
Well, but I think it changes things. Football has changed and all these analytics and things. If as a defensive coach, if it's 3rd and 7, and they might go up for it on 4th down, it really changes the way you play 3rd down. If they had 1 down to get it or 2 downs to get it, and they get half of it, now it's 4th and 3 or 4th and 2 or 4th and 1. An extra down to defend is a challenge. And boy, oh boy, when we hit our stride as a football program, there was no secret. It went right along with them converting 4th downs.
That's really strange, the analytics of football, and just because Donnie was saying last week, there's a chart, and it says if it's this and this, then you should go for it, and that's what the analytics say. And some coaches go straight by the book as far as just what they think in their heart, and some coaches go by the analytics. And I think Pirate fans overall like the fact that East Carolina will go for it on 4th down. And as you said, though, on defense, that's got to be now you got to stop them again, and that's got to be tough.
Yeah, it's just a whole other category in how you look at an opponent. You're like, all right, you just 10 years ago you punted the ball. Well, not anymore. Now we got to figure out as they get close to that 50-yard line, and what kind of team are they, and the personality of that head coach on the other side. So keep your knees bent and ready to play, and that's what defenders do. So we're able to do that here.
Wrapping things up with Tim Doust. Coach, what do you guys do after the spring game? What's your schedule like as far as with the players, vacations as far as what the coaches can do? I know you don't get a lot of time. I think you get a little time in July. And then, of course, you've got camps throughout the summer, and then you've got the fall camp starting in August.
Yeah, we'll start penciling in our plans here. But, we'll take a long look at the film on Monday, meet with the players next week, talk about the spring and where we need to go from there at every position, and have, long talks, I'm sure, as a staff about, what our needs are and what we need to address and emphasize going into the summer. So we'll be in town 1 week, and then start making our calls and plans for spring recruiting, recruiting in this area in our region and getting into the high schools and getting kids over to campus. So now we can go out in April and May. We can get people on campus in June for camps. In official visits now, and that's what we'll do in June. June will be extremely busy and productive for us, just like it was last year. And then July, the coaches catch their breath a little bit while the players are here and working their tails off with Big John, and that's a great time for growth with Coach Big John in the weight room. So, we got a busy few months ahead of us. It's all building up to a great fall.
And that working with Big John in those hot summer days in Eastern North Carolina, because I'm telling you, it doesn't get much hotter anywhere else than Eastern North Carolina, does it?
No, it's a good challenge for those kids mentally and physically. So they're coming ready to go.
Tim Doust, again, the special teams coordinator, defensive ends, outside linebackers coach, joining us to talk spring football. Coach Doust, thanks so much. We always enjoy having you on the show. You're a great guy to converse with as far as football goes, and looking forward to the spring game coming up on Saturday.
All right, Brian. See you out there. Appreciate you.
All right, thanks so much, Tim Doust. Joining us here on the Brian Bailey Show. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk about the national championship game set for tonight, Kansas and North Carolina, and we'll update the standings and the second chance with the Sweet 16. That's coming up as we wrap up this edition of the Brian Bailey Show right after this.
Crust is the most important part of stuffed crust. It's half the name. Papa John's crust is made from 6 simple ingredients. 7 if you count all this cheese. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Hey, Pirate fans, the Papa John's Epic Stuffed Crust One-Topping Pizza is only $13 and is an MVP move for game day or any day. Place your order online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, the official pizza of the ECU Pirates.
From our floor to your door, Bostic Sugg Furniture has what you need in stock, so you can get your furniture now, not later. Save store-wide, plus get special financing on our huge selection of beautiful furniture from Lazy Boy, Bassett & Rowe. Better sleep starts now on the Arctic Mattress by Serta on a power motion base with 48-month special financing and no money down, plus our exclusive 10-year power base warranty. From our floor to your door, create something beautiful at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
This isn't your regular cola, so this isn't your regular cola ad. No beach parties or family barbecues here, just Nitro Pepsi, the first cola ever infused with nitrogen. So forget everything you thought you knew about soda, because that nitrogen gives us a whole new experience. Think an infusion of smaller bubbles for a cola that's got a lighter, smoother texture. And don't get me started on the pour. You don't pour this like any other cola. We're talking turn the can completely upside down and watch as those bubbles cascade into the glass to create a frothy, luxurious foam topping. Can your cola do that? I didn't think so. Unless you've got your own Nitro Pepsi, in which case cheers to your great taste. Because you already know that the only thing better than the pour is the unapologetic cola taste. What else is there to say? From the creamy foam to the smooth texture to its unbelievably delicious flavor, this is cola like you've never had it before. Time to bring your taste buds to the next frontier. New Nitro Pepsi. Smooth, creamy, delicious.
Before you hit the road this travel season, be sure to get your tires inspected by the tire guys at Greenville Auto World. The Greenville Auto World service team sells all the top brands and economy tires if you need a new set. Need an oil change, state inspection, or AC repair? Greenville Auto World can work on any type of vehicle, and the monthly oil change special is only $29.99. Make an appointment now by calling 364-8730. For award-winning service, trust Greenville Auto World.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers in Greenville, plus the all-new Tiebreakers in Winterville do real burgers better than anybody. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, real burgers at its best.
Everybody loves burgers.
This is ECU assistant football coach Roy Tesh, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, working for our community, not for shareholders. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to our show as we wrap things up. I want to thank Tim Doust for joining us earlier. We're going to update the standings in the second chance with the Sweet 16 contest and talk a little bit about the North Carolina. There you go.
With the Sweet 16.
Talk a little bit about the North Carolina-Kansas matchup. Take you back to 2 weeks ago when we did this contest, and nobody, even though we're in the state of North Carolina, we had a couple of people pick North Carolina to make the Final Four, but nobody picked North Carolina to win the championship. In fact, I don't think nobody picked North Carolina to make it to the championship game. So our standings, our good friend, we had some guest pickers this year. Brian Meador got all 4 of the Final Four right. And I really thought he was going to run the table because he had Duke and Kansas to play in the championship game, and he had Duke to win it all. So he had a chance to actually run the table. No one has ever run the table in the second chance with the Sweet 16 contest. So he was right on it, but he does have Kansas to make the finals, and he is our, we're not going to crown him the champion yet, but I think he's going to win the championship. Clip Brock, by the way, and we'll bring him in, got 2 of the Final Four right, and he has Kansas to win it all. So he's got a chance to pick up some extra points. So he's going to to finish right up there, especially if Kansas wins tonight against North Carolina. So congratulations on that pick.
My original champion, Bailey. I had the Jayhawks to start.
Every time I pick Kansas to win the national championship or even to go far, they always let me down. So this is the year
I did. The game I worried about was the second round because that's when Bill Self seems to lose, right? Early in the tournament. So they got by that one and have rolled ever since.
And they had a story that came out that Bill Self told the guys that, hey, it's time for us to go win championships again. And right now they're on target to do that.
Should have thought of that earlier.
Yeah, exactly. 9:20 tip-off for Kansas and North Carolina. Kansas is a 4.5-point favorite. What do you think of that line?
Little high, I guess. I mean, I was telling you before the show, and I guess you could say it's about any underseeded team at this point, but it's starting to feel like North Carolina might have that team of destiny field.
That's what it feels like.
But I do think Kansas is the better team, and they've proven it all year, and hopefully they prove it tonight.
Yeah, and you look at North Carolina, I mean, they were on the bubble, not so long ago. There was talk that, hey, Carolina's not going to get in the tournament. And they get in as an 8 seed, and, starting out, you think that's the one number you don't want to be. You want an 11 is better than an 8 because an 11 you're going to see a 3. You're not going to have to play that number 1 seed. But they took care of business. They crushed Baylor until Baylor made that good comeback. But North Carolina, it just looks like that they're just, that the Duke game was really a well-played basketball game by both teams. It was one of those, and you hate to say the cliche, you hate to see one team lose, but both teams played really, really hard, really, really well. But I tell you, man, the game's on the line. Oh, Caleb Love steps up, and he'll drill one.
You need a star to take you there, and he is blooming into that star in North Carolina.
And you got somebody that you stick Armando Bacot out there, and he's going to get you 12, 14, 16, 20 rebounds. He's going to get you a bucket load of rebounds and probably scoring double figures, and you get that night in and night out. But you get those other guards, and North Carolina has really shown that they can play. You got to think of Hubert Davis. Now think about this with Jeff Lebo on that staff. Jeff Lebo always said it's not how you play early on, it's how you play late. Give Lebo credit. He had East Carolina a couple of times playing, the CIT championship. A couple of times in the tournament, they won some games they probably weren't expected to.
He's definitely had the most postseason, and I'm including conference tournament success. ECU history.
Exactly. So, I mean, you think about that and the X's and O's, and it's good to see Creighton, his son, they're together at the Final Four in New Orleans and playing for a national championship tonight. But Kansas is a 4.5-point favorite. And you think of Kansas, I've heard so many stories from Coach Joe Dooley about Bill Self and all the stories that he tells all the time. So you kind of think that we've got a connection on both sides. Two former coaches at East Carolina, who one's really close to Kansas and one's obviously on the staff at North Carolina, so that'll be interesting. You can hear the game right here on Pirate Radio at 9:20 tip. North Carolina and the Kansas Jayhawks for college basketball's national championship. Don't forget the spring football game coming up this Saturday at 12:30. It's going to be a little offense versus defense. I think the scoring deal will come out later on, and we'll have that for you later on this week. We want to see everybody at Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium. Our last taste of football until August comes around when fall camp opens for East Carolina's Pirates. But the 12:30 kickoff, Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium. Lots to do this weekend, but check out Pirate football, check out Pirate baseball. Congratulations to the Pirates. That game yesterday lasted a day and a half. I mean, that was crazy. I was counting the pitchers in my head. I thought it was at 12. I think it was at 11 was the final number for pitchers used in that game. But congratulations to the Pirates. They take 2 out of 3 against Cincinnati to open up conference play. All right, that's our show for this Monday. Don't forget Blake Harrell, defensive coordinator at East Carolina, joins us next week. I want to thank Tim Doust for joining us this week, and we'll see you back here next week on The Brian Bailey Show.
This has been The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, and also brought to you by
Angus Grill, Bostic Sugg Furniture, Bojangles, East Coast Grading, Papa John's, Pepsi, Seared Chop House, Taft and Hagler, Tiebreakers,